this computer. So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to welcome you to this series of Erasmus Days talks. We celebrate Erasmus Days the same period or almost the same period every year here in Hellenic Mediterranean University. My name is Kostas. I will try to be your moderator. I'm going to handle, the questions. I'm going to handle, the ordering of the speakers. All the talks, they will last around 10 minutes. And then we're going to provide 5 minutes for questioning. However, I know the restriction of time. If, I can see that the questions are more, and this is the purpose, to have questions more than presentations in order to share, because this is the aim of this year's Erasmus Day 2024, to share good policies, challenges, and solutions regarding virtual internationalization. This is the topic of this year's Erasmus Days that we plan here in Hellenic Mediterranean University in collaboration with the Impact project, which is the virtual exchange project that we coordinate. I will start with a presentation of the speakers. First, a very fast presentation, what I have prepared in order to give a short introduction to our panelists and our speakers. So let me find, I hope that you can see. This is our first speaker here. It is a great pleasure to have with us Mrs. Susana Rodriguez, the manager of the project Switch in Virtual. Here you can see a QR code that if you scan, you can find information about the speaker. Not about the speaker, but about the project. If I could not find, the relative URL about the project, I have placed in the QR information about the speaker. But you can find something related to the talk. So I would like to provide the floor now to Susanna in order to start to guide us, and speak to us about the Erasmus Virtual Exchange Project, Switch in Virtual. So the floor is yours, Susanna, and thank you very much for your participation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kostas, for this introduction. And thank you so much for all the organization that you have done so far. It's truly an amazing endeavor. So I will just quickly share my screen to be able to show you what we have been doing and what is our project about. So you are able to see, correct?
Yes.
The presentation?
Yes.
Currently seeing? Perfect. So as Kostas said, amazingly, we are the Switching Virtual project. We are organization. Oh, sorry. Okay. So the project currently is very much in its beginning. We are on our 7th month. We started recently this year, and is intended to be a project that promotes international intercultural exchange through virtual exchange, of course, and strengthening links between young people from higher education institutions, but as well from youth organizations. And truly, we believe that presents an opportunity outside of the traditional Erasmus plus physical mobility programs. So who are we exactly? In this project, we are involved Portugal, Spain, and the Netherlands that represent here 3 countries within the European Union and 3 countries outside of the European Union. So in this case, Kosovo, Albania, and Montenegro. The institutions themselves are ourselves, Atlantic University Institute, that we are from Portugal. We are the coordinators of this project. Besides us, we have as well Integra, that is a partner from Spain, and Teaching Youth, that is our partner from the Netherlands. Our partners from the countries outside of the European Union is, in this case, University College of Bender from Albania, the NGO Integrated from Montenegro, and the European Community Studies Association from Kosovo. Prior to developing the modules itself, because this project will entail and is currently in this process of being developed and created modules regarding the development of skills and knowledge on a certain specific areas. Prior first to developing these modules and creating these interactions and cultural exchange regarding these specific topics, we did analysis of interest between 300 young people, and we involved as well 150 professors and youth workers as well from different institutions of the partners involved, and to understand exactly what were the interests in each field, not only for youth, but as well for educational professionals that were interested in developing certain skills, what were exactly their interests. We came to these 3 topics that will then result in 3 different modules, one regarding education and technology, specifically EdTech, another module for leadership, management, and education, and as well digital tools for teaching and learning, such as Canva, Zoom, Moodle, all the communication platforms that are out there, Kahoot, all the platforms and tools that are out there for educational digitally wise. It's going to be a module focusing on this with practical exercises. When it comes to youth, we as well divided accordingly to the interest presented by youth. The 5 topics that came most were soft skills, such as active listening or mediation, conflict mediation. Other modules such as interculturality, where the most of the youth will interact regarding certain topics to discuss. Entrepreneurship, digital and media skills, such as media security, digital literacy. There is quite a big topic nowadays that youth are quite interested, and of course as well finance and economics. How this will work more or less. So it will be 5 modules for the youth. The modules for teachers will be 1.5 months, will be a more intensive course. But for the youth, it's going to be 5 modules throughout 5 months. In this case, 1 month for module. Why this is it? Because we developed 4 subtopics, so 1 subtopic per week. For example, let's say the module of soft skills. The first week will be active listening and assertiveness. And throughout this week will be periods for theory, where people will have to absorb certain information themselves autonomously. Will be periods as well for active learning autonomously, and as well active learning with peers among themselves, among their colleagues from their countries. And all this comes out at the end of the week in a moment of engagement and intercultural exchange with the colleagues from other countries, where all the countries will be mixed, of course, and then divided in groups with activities for them to engage with youth, students, colleagues from other parts of Europe, to exchange what they have learned throughout that week on that specific subtopic. And of course, at the end of the month, they'll be certified for that specific module. The hours itself will be 30 hours per topic. So in this case, in the whole month, will be an engagement and interaction of 30 hours. All of this is going to be certified, of course, by our institutions, and each participant will get a certificate accordingly to the activities they are involved. This will be one of the tools used. So instead of just being a Moodle that we'll use, that is an online communicative platform for teaching. I don't know how many of you will use it for teaching purposes, but in Portugal and as well in Spain and in the Netherlands are quite used. So instead of being just a platform where we're going to be there having materials and engage throughout Zoom, we decided as well to include some sort of tools that create the interactive side of this project, and as well the learning side of it more dynamic and more interested. So in this case, for example, we'll use this tool that a student, a youth from Kosovo can literally show their location where they are, and instead of doing a session on a Zoom with different backgrounds, they can literally do a session in a location and showing while discussing, for example, active listening for the soft skill module. This is a way that we found to create a more dynamic and interested way of educating. Regarding schedule-wise, we'll start the modules in January. We are closing calendars and schedules this week, literally. So as soon as we have all of that closed, we'll start disseminating and sharing amongst all participants. We'll have participants from all these countries involved. And they are free to engage amongst themselves in the platform, in forums that will be created. And the idea will have to be throughout this month for all the participants to learn and develop skills among themselves, and as well in partnership with colleagues from other sides of the countries. So far, this is the information that I have to share with you. I don't know, we have some sort of constraints in times, so I don't want to look at myself too much. If there's any questions, I'll be here as well to answer.
Thank you very much, Susanna, for keeping your time. You had an excellent time management. I think that you learned it, through your course or previous courses. We have some questions. The first question comes from Ethne. I don't know, Ethne, if you would like to directly ask the question, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, I was wondering what the age group and the level of education of the 300 young people or youth who were surveyed was, and maybe I just missed it.
So sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah, could you tell me what age group or level of education the 300 students who were surveyed?
It was just considered the age group, so between 18 and 30.
Okay, between 18. So higher educational. Super.
Not necessarily, it was as well considered above 18 that didn't have higher education.
Okay.
We, Portugal, as being a higher education institute, we, of course, use, in this case, our students to understand more their interest and focus. But as well, other partners, for example, they are NGOs and they have more engagement with youth in general, not necessarily higher education.
Okay.
Students.
And do you know how many of the youth were in employment? I'm interested in terms of the skills that they were interested in, if they were also employed.
Not necessarily, didn't focus on that. It was really our interest in the sense of what were the interests of developing, which skills, but more interested in a perspective of differentiating between non-EU countries and EU countries. And clearly there's a difference because we ask as well questions such as regarding, for example, employed. We didn't specify if person were employed, but we did ask if they considered that employment opportunities were equal between countries from EU and non-EU. And of course, the answers were different. Okay. As well regarding if the formal content within the formal educational system, if it's well adapted to the market labor or the labor market. And as well, the answers were different. While considering, for example, Spain, Portugal, and the Netherlands, they considered yes. But for countries such as Kosovo, Albania, Montenegro, their focus considered that it was not well adapted, the formal education system, to the needs of the labor market. That's why it was such a big focus, interest on, for example, entrepreneurship. Another need as well, it was emotional intelligence that was included in the soft skills module. And quite a big important on finance literacy and digital literacy nowadays, due to social media and how to interact in this digital world.
Thank you so much. Great presentation. Very interesting project. Thank you.
Well,
thank you very much, Ethne, for the questions, and Susanna for the responses. We have one more question from a colleague of us from Switzerland, Andrea. You mentioned about another tool, I think it was Moodle, that you're using another tool instead of Moodle. Can you please report it, Susanna?
So, sorry?
There's a question, sorry, you said something about another tool that you are using, a part of Zoom, but I think that you mentioned that you are using an LMS, a part of Moodle. This is, so what is the tool that you are using? Just
Moodle.
Moodle. Okay, Moodle. Okay, so as an LMS. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Susanna. Please stop sharing your screen. Stop sharing your screen. Yes, correct.
I will stop if I can.
You can.
Apparently my thing to stop sharing disappeared. I have more skills. I'll just second.
Okay, excellent. So I will start now. I will continue the presentations. Let me share the screen. I will keep the time. I think that you can see my presentation. Am I right?
Yes, yeah.
Not this one. The other one. So I will keep the time. Let me place my timer. So what I'm going to provide you, my name is Kostas. My background is laser physics, but I love one of my duties apart of the research is teaching, and I have found the last 3 years the great potential of virtual internationalization, of virtual activities, virtual exchanges as a tool in order to extend the curricula of what we offer as a university, but also to be more inclusive and add another flavor within the internationalization of the university using these means. So impact, it's the acronym of our virtual exchange project. Comes out from the Inter-Mediterranean Peace and Collaboration, and what I'm going to present today is a summary, and it's a work of all the people that they are working, mainly universities from Europe, as you can see, universities from Israel and Morocco. As you can understand now, we are facing a crisis, and we are trying to survive and keep deliver even under these, let's say, strange circumstances for academics or for university staff. The main target, as all the virtual exchanges project, is the development of the cultural intelligence of our students to be able to understand and communicate various aspects through the development of particular soft skills by application of various topics that you will see as we pilot the first, I will say, 14 months our activities. So I will start with some activities for teachers. So the first year we try to develop and provide opportunities to our students, our teachers, to be aware of pedagogies that they are tailored or they can be used through the virtual exchange activities that we plan to apply. And we have already started during the first year to our students, but also to professionally be developed through the project and also to adapt more virtual exchanges through their career. So thanks to our colleagues, here you can see Dr. Elena Misrachi, that he was leading, this kind of activities, building our digital skills, mainly by introducing every week artificial intelligence tools in order us as an old guys to be adapted, to trust AI tool. And I found this kind of seminars, more than 15 seminars, about various digital tools every week for our staff. So you can see, some examples of activities. Everything is recorded. Everything can be viewed and can be watched through the YouTube channel of the Impact Project. So I strongly recommend you to follow these seminars. They are very detailed, duration about an hour, even more, for you to build your digital skills further. So you can see from AI tools to pedagogies like Scrum that helps, the teams to work very efficient. Also, you can see how to apply micro-credentials. We are trying to develop our policies, so our certifications to be linked with the application of micro-credentials following the European recommendation, but also our character, and by securing, whatever we are doing by using blockchain technology. So you can see, various seminars starting from various LMS technologies, the VR, and etc. So The next thing that we are preparing is like how to develop a MOOC for our staff. You can see the details. You are going to receive the newsletter from our site, and also training that they are open, not only for the community of impact, but for our community. And this is the purpose of this meeting, to build a community, and whatever we are doing to be shared among us and be multiplied and be used, because I think that, you know, for internationalization and the mobilities that EU has targeted, this is the future. So here now we are in this Erasmus Days, that every day we are going to be focused in one of activities related to virtual and blended teaching, activities for teaching regarding pedagogies and not digital skills. You can see applications that engage online, but also face-to-face, the engagement of more staff and more students, especially regarding, you know, our areas, the Middle East area, that we have a lot of barriers, and how we should address these barriers in order everyone to feel inclusive on what we offer as a universities, or as a virtual exchangers, or as a blended intensive programs organizers. So you can see what we have done for the first almost 1 year and a half. Activities that happen almost every week. So we have extended our activities, also collaborating with UNESCO regarding peace education. So we have started a new initiative because our name is about peace. So we have a peace education activities. We name them Athena for Peace. And we have invited speakers, students, but mainly also educators, how virtual exchanges and how university alliances, international university networks can help staff and students under conflict conditions. So this is a new activity, and you can see here partners from Ukraine, from North Israel. We are going to go to Bosnia and Herzegovina. We have a UNITAR from Geneva that help us in order to move on. And we are very happy that in 2026 we are going to organize, thanks to these activities, in Washington, the United Nations conference, the chapter of the peace education for 2026. So you can see here, you know, various aspects that you are more than welcome to present. So we are continuing these activities for this semester as well. So we start on this Wednesday with a speaker from Bosnia and Herzegovina. You will receive also as a virtual exchange, you are going to receive the invitation. So activities for our students. We have started online activities about soft skills, and we have one lecture. And then between the lectures every week, we have a self-assessment for the students to be able to solve this assessment and be able to assess their understanding, and together with the talking and the discussing with the professor. So we have organized more than 25 lectures. Here you can see the course, Impact Course in Soft and Research Skills. It's uploaded in the Moodle. We had 80 participants, 40 of them, they have received the exams. So the course here, we follow a different strategy. We have integrated our lectures in soft skills in existing courses within the universities that they participate. In this way, I think that we motivate our students to participate because it's already accredited activities for them. So we repeat this example, this pilot thing, with the second version of this blended intensive program. So here we combine virtual exchanges with face-to-face activities in Crete, that all the students, they traveled in order to interact each other and also to participate in various workshops. We had 132 participants in the second version, with 89 of them to follow the exams. Here is like, you know, from the face-to-face workshop in Crete that our students and staff participate this May. We move on with other activities, as you can see, with lectures now, different lectures in order to enrich what we offer regarding soft and cultural intelligence lectures from various partners. These are the workshops that they happen face-to-face in Crete as a combination with online lectures as well. So you can see that we have a fully curriculum, a fully module that combines online and face-to-face as a semester course for our students in this approach. Now, this year, we are going to pilot COILS. God help us. So we have the first one in research skills. We are very happy that more than 250 students, they have registered and collaborate with 12 universities, included universities like Cornell in the States, universities in Argentina, universities within the impact projects. And we are very open to, these coils and these sessions to be open to your students. Just email us. It's free of cost. We are doing things because we like to do things in a pilot. And please feel free to contact us in order to share with you the manual and the curricula of COIL in research skills, COIL in soft and digital skills, COIL in leaderships. And we start by November another COIL with the Europe Direct in Brussels, European values and policies. So these are the things that we would like to share with you as a complete online sessions integrated in existing courses. So these are few information about the first COIL. Every Wednesday at 16:00 CET, we start next week, not this week. No, actually this week, I will be in Austria, I forgot this, with why soft skills in research. So the main topic and the main aim of this course is to develop the research skills starting from presentation, resilience, networking, how to evaluate a paper, how to make oral presentation, poster, how to review a paper in order to build from undergraduate studies the research skill that any one of us should have, independent if you will follow an academic career. We have the other COIL in soft and digital skills. This is a repetition of what we are doing for third time. I think that this is soft skills are the critical skills in order to make the difference in the AI era. In leadership skills, this is something that our colleagues in Israel, Cologne Institute of Technology, they lead with a lot of workshops, seminars, discussions and debates with our students. Everything is in the Moodle platform. So in the Moodle platform, we have more than 10 courses already delivered. All the material is there. Just, send me an email in order to have an access. We have pilot the open badges, but we would like to pilot the micro-credentials and also to experiment the technology of the blockchain in order to provide a more credibility together with transferability that micro-credentials provide using blockchain technology, thanks to our colleagues from Slovenia, from the University of Maribor. And what we are going to deliver, at the end of this year, a COIL catalog of what we offer. What else do we plan? We plan to build the student board. So our students to make their proposals. So you will listen to them tomorrow that they are going to present in the tomorrow sessions in order to make us proposals, what kind of courses and what kind of interactivities we would like to do. Our vision is to build a university alliance of virtual exchangers. I mean, don't take the definition by definition of European alliance because this is another game. But I think that altogether, I think that we can make our alliance and we can offer courses and we can offer good policies and conferences all together. Of course, we have a unique collaboration, a very big, let's say, association about online. We will listen Ethne, later after me about their activities. But I think that we should make something that we can communicate and share independent of the events that we have here. This is something that I have discussed. This is topics that we are going to suggest to our students also to have discussions, not only concrete courses, COILs, or virtual exchange or BIPs, but discussions about, open discussion for the students to offer their opinion in order us as old guys, I'm talking about myself, to follow in the university and move on. These are COILs that I have already presented to you. We plan, but actually, one of our colleagues, Elena Mifrahi, has tried through her activity student conference. So this is something that our COIL will terminate, in research skills, a conference about the students in order to present by using the research skills that we have trained or we have introduced them at the end of the semester. And these are some activities of future conference that we are going to offer. Challenges, a lot of challenges. How the commitment of all partners. As all projects, we have some sleepy, less sleepy, or, very weak partners. This is something that we are working on it and motivate our students. I'm telling you as a tip, use for virtual exchanges, integrate them through the existing courses in order the students to know why to participate, and then they will love it and they will participate by heart. recognitions of virtual mobilities is something that in Athena European University we have a white paper, and we are in communication with the EU in order, to take at least EU to provide some recommendations how to recognize the virtual mobilities as a numbers, because this is what we are doing in the virtual exchanges. We register numbers, and of course we have some political issues in our case, which is good because it builds your soft skills as a diplomat or whatever, Middle East conflict. So with this, I would like to thank you for your time, and this is what we are doing in Impact. So now I think that I will provide, are there any questions? Okay, if there are not any questions, I will continue. Let me check, because I have to check this way. Okay. So I will continue with our next speaker. Let me find her. Where is this? Ethne. So I think Ethne is one of the most experienced persons that we have among us. So she's Irish. I love her accent. She's a pioneer in virtual exchanges many years, not only regarding the topics, but also the pedagogies that they are using. There are 3. So one of the tips that she's going to share with us is co-delivering, and co-teaching these kind of activities helps a lot. So Ethne, the floor is yours for the next 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I am absolutely passionate about virtual exchange. So I'm very happy to be here and to be able to share with you a little bit about my experience and also the Global Case Study Challenge, which essentially started off as a 3-way virtual exchange 7 years ago, and then developed into, now we run a non-profit and run this student virtual exchange every year for 2 months with students from across the globe. But I think the whole topic of these Erasmus Days to me are incredibly important, because I also see the whole idea of virtual exchange really as a very important driver for internationalization generally. Sorry, I'll just maximize my screen. And what I mean by that is I really see there's so many advantages to virtual exchange, in addition to, the aim to develop intercultural competencies among global educators and students. It's very important, I think, as a form of accessible international education, because it allows maybe students and educators who otherwise wouldn't have the possibility to go abroad to participate. In that way, it can also be cost effective. It should ideally then also feed into the whole idea of sustainable internationalization and inclusive internationalization, depending, of course, on how we use our exchanges. I would say that it's very important also in terms of, this idea of a responsive curriculum. So it helps us really provide courses or learning opportunities, programs that maybe otherwise we couldn't do because our curriculums at higher educational institutes take, a couple of months or years to change. I see it as a very flexible form of learning. It brings these amazing global perspectives, and it's incredibly important as a form of cultural and transnational learning. So this is something that with the Global Case Study Challenge team, who I'll introduce in a minute, we've been really driving or trying to push forward as an idea. And we also did this at the last IVEC conference, and I hope you've heard of IVEC before. If not, I really recommend checking them out. It is an international virtual exchange conference. It takes place every 2 years. It's also an actual community, and it's happening actually very soon. So every second year it's a virtual conference, and the other year it's actually in person. And in the last IVEC, we put together a panel to really discuss this idea of, what does virtual exchange mean for responsible internationalization? And we had a fantastic group of speakers really from all parts of the globe, and we very consciously tried to bring in people from all over the world to discuss this. So I I think it's a brilliant topic. I really, it's fantastic that it's the core of also this, these Erasmus Days. So I will very briefly introduce you to the Global Case Study Challenge as a virtual exchange. It's quite multi-layered and detailed, so I'll just run over it. We only have 10 minutes. As I said, it started off as a 3-way exchange between 2 Austrian universities and a university in Chile. And our intention was to organize an experiential intercultural exchange, bringing the students together, having them work on real world issues, and at the same time develop their intercultural competencies. We then developed that and expanded, and now we see it as a career-oriented virtual exchange project that focuses on remote work competencies, which I'll explain in a minute. And at the same time, we're really trying to promote this idea of global, conscious and sustainable communities. So we're trying to bring our educators together, the students together, to share and exchange in ideas, information, innovations. And we've had so many spin-off courses out of the Global Case Study Challenge that we're absolutely thrilled. There are 3 of us that are involved in this, so we've formally had to set it up as a non-profit, as our universities couldn't manage to onboard and offboard all of the students that we have involved every year. So there are 3 of us. I'm responsible for the intercultural communication component and also sort of the team dynamics and leadership. Barbara Covarrubias, her background is in new work. She's also a trainer, a corporate trainer and speaker, and works in these areas. And then Anna Zinenko, who's based in Spain, is a corporate sustainability expert. So we have, in total, over the past 6 iterations, we've worked with over 2,000 students and educators from across the globe. We just started last week with this year's virtual exchange, and we currently have, I think we have 530 students who were in the process of bringing together in very small teams of 5 students. We're working together with educators. So, Kostas, like you mentioned, we also try to embed this into courses. We work with educators so that they can take this exchange and embed it into their course so they can brief and debrief their students. And currently, yes, we have 17 university partners from 11 different countries across the globe. We always mention that we've received a number of awards for this. Why this is important for us is because it means that it's a peer-reviewed process. It's very important for us. And not only this, but the whole process of entering these competitions, it brings so much visibility to virtual exchange. So, in terms of teaching excellence, in terms of international teaching programs, this has been one of the ways that we've really been highlighting how virtual exchange can be fantastic as a way of promoting, as a way of promoting also a teaching pedagogy that we need to develop. So the overall Global Case Study Challenge in terms of remote work readiness focus is on 3 different pillars. So intercultural competency, what we call the digital collaboration competency, and sustainability competency, with this idea of designing or trying to push forward a global and conscious community. We also see a sustainability mindset as incredibly important, and there's such differences in knowledge around SDGs, sustainability, that we try to bring it in to the Global Case Study Challenge. So I won't go through this. You'll see this very complicated diagram. This is essentially the 2-month phase that we work with our students. So we bring them, we onboard them, we use a Moodle platform as well. We have our own Moodle platform. We design it so that the students are self-responsible for finding their groups. We set that up in the background. They work with global peers from all over the world. And we have a series of activities for them to work on, as well as live sessions where we give them input and ideas. And we do this over the 2-month period. That sort of capstone project for us is the Global Virtual Conference, which happens at the end. So we let all of the students come in, they work on a business case. That's why it's the Case Study Challenge, and it is challenging as well. But they work on a case study, which we've developed together with companies. They present their solutions at a conference, and then After that, they're also invited to come back into a debriefing session with international CEOs, managers, and people working in remote work areas. We say it's career oriented, so we award a certificate to the students who complete it successfully. So we have a certain number of points. If they get over a certain number of points, we give them a certificate, which seems for many of the universities to be important. It's the sort of, you know, they use it for promotion of themselves as, you know, as professionals already sort of working on real world projects. And we also provide this as a LinkedIn badge, and we get amazing feedback from our students who say that they've used this regularly in order to discuss at interviews what experiences they have, how they develop them, how they manage conflict in teams, how they've, you know, presented for companies in a real world conference situation, etc., etc. So the case studies that we worked on, we co-developed with a multinational company who acquired, so a Japanese multinational that acquired a Spanish multinational, and we developed through interviews with C-level staff in 2021 an initial 5 cases. We've just updated them again, and they're all about the integration process. So they deal with topics around culture, communication, human resource management, learning and development, and also corporate social responsibility. So I have to keep an eye on the time. We see huge benefits, and these are our benefits for the Global Case Study Challenge. They translate totally for educators anyway. We love using the GCSE as a platform for educators to use as a peer resource. We have an educator forum, we do educator labs, we exchange on grading, we learn from each other, and we also introduce new colleagues who've never worked on a COIL or a virtual exchange before to the whole process of how that's developed. And for students, of course, it's this, it's remote work readiness. They're developing intercultural communication. It's very practical. They're enhancing their sustainability awareness and hopefully also problem skills in terms of business solutions. So we had a session just last week, our very first session. We embed, as much of this sort of cultural context as we can with the group. So you can see here we had, we had over the course of the day, over 400 students online. We asked them how they're connected with their countries or their culture, where they're from. We talk about the sorts of challenges that the world's facing. We think about how we can use that as the basis for communicating and getting to know each other, because our very first activity is about teamwork and developing actually a team. So Costas mentioned many of the challenges with virtual exchange. There are loads of them. There's loads of challenges. The ones that we've identified and that we really try to support educators with who join us with the Global Case Study Challenge. We use it as a sort of a means for them to recruit other partners for other projects, which they do. We measure the success. So we also have a research component where we trace competency development from beginning to end. We share that. That's very important. We see this as a way of contributing to sort of this coiling ecosystem, of which there are many, and it's very nice to bring them together. So Costas, I think it's wonderful, this idea of an alliance of universities for virtual exchange. I think fantastic. We think about, how to measure assessment, how we can do that in a culturally we're taking into considerations cultural differences in grading, assessment, formative, summative feedback, etc. We see a challenge as the bureaucratic hurdles. We also have challenges with the technical tools that we use, and with trying to coordinate, of course, across, more easy to coordinate with colleagues and less easy to coordinate with colleagues. And with the time zone component, we offer all of our live sessions twice a day. So with that, I think I am at the end. I will just, leave these and move on to just leave this here with you. This is why for us it's so important. We have this statement from a student who said, participating was one of the most enriching experience I've ever had. The GCSE proposes a lot of challenges. as you're communicating with people from different cultures, time zones, and routines, but you have contact with different points of views, which is an amazing part of the job. And I think that's exactly what we do best, is bring people together, help them to reflect on their own skills and the skills that they want to learn. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ethne, for keeping the time as well. So I have some questions. I don't know if there are any questions from the audience. I cannot see on the chat. So my first question, Ethne, is like, I mean, what are the benefits for the universities? Because you mentioned for the students, the professors, about the universities.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's exactly this. It contributes to the whole internationalization of universities. It really helps universities, and plus, it's, you know, one of those lower hurdle ways to engage with internationalization, which is fantastic. It helps universities also, you know, offer these responsive curriculum, just curriculas, just like all of the courses you provided that are maybe not available or offered to also, you know, to students within their own curriculum. It brings a whole, you know, new possibility of engaging with these topics. It's a possible, you know, we may not all have, you know, certain experts in-house. So it helps us also bring, you know, experts into our classrooms from other contexts. I think for the universities, there's a whole host of, you know, benefits, improving digital pedagogies, you know, peer learning across universities. It's a form of cooperation in itself, so it helps deepen the sorts of collaborations that we have. Yeah, those are the ones that that I can think of off the top of my head.
Excellent. Ethne, there's a question from Anissa. It's a colleague in China. I think that she's in China now. She's going to speak tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. What is the language of delivery?
The language of delivery is English. It's one of the, of if we you know, we say the restrictions. The language is English. Of course, we have varying levels of English. The idea is that students have B1 level, but we have in the past, you know, we have had students with, for example, hearing impairment. We've had students who have less English abilities than others. And one of the lovely things is that the groups themselves, they sort of co-create the environment. So, you know, somebody writes in, oh, I'm having such difficulty, we can't communicate. And somebody else suggests, oh, have you used this AI? Have you used this tool? How are you running your meetings? These are the sorts of things we cover as well, how to, you know, run effective and inclusive meetings. But yeah, the language is English.
There is another question. Thank you for the response. I'm trying also to keep the time from our colleague Tatiana from University of Maribor. Is it possible that our students will join just of the selected lectures or must participate in the whole time? It means the 2-month session.
Oh, that is the first time we've ever been, you know, asked that question. Well, Tatiana, if you would like your students to join, I would certainly consider that with my colleagues. We have, you know, the capacity to have up to 500 students in the room, and we don't work specifically. We work, though, on topics related to global virtual teamworks, holding presentations, running effective meetings, being inclusive. I mean, the students could potentially join, and we do open up the conference to anybody who would like to join as well. So that's, that's perfect. Yes, Tatiana, I'd be happy to talk to you about that on Wednesday.
So, and the final question is like, what documents should be signed to start collaboration?
So we try to make this as unbureaucratic as possible, which adds to the complication. So to start, okay, so because we couldn't run this via our universities, we set up a non-profit. So we charge universities for up to joining with 50 students. We charge them €250. That is the only hurdle that I see. For any universities in context that can't afford it, we waive the fee. That's, yeah. So we have the basic costs from that to run the Moodle platform and the technology behind. We don't have any additional hurdles. We interview our partners to help them also try and embed it effectively in a course to look at, because we have educators from sports management and educators from, engineering, and embedding the Global Case Study Challenge in many different types of courses. One, entrepreneurial mindset, another, intercultural communication, another is maybe green HR practices. So we try and work with the educators to make sure it's relevant for their students. So bureaucratic documents, what we need from our educators, our server is based in Europe. That was important for some of the participating universities. And otherwise, you need to be able to provide us with the email addresses of your students so that we can onboard them. We don't need anything else. We get them to sign, of course, data, to make sure that all of the data is protected.
Ethne, you can share your email through the chat so the people can contact you. Thank you very much. I can see that Professor Petropoulou, Zoe, is here with us from the States. So before, let me share my screen in order also to provide some information. I will provide, first of all, the information of Ethne, because during the change I could not do it. So you can see here a QR code in order to go directly to the Global Case Study Challenge in order to review what Ethne has presented to us. And now I will continue with our next speaker. Let me take out this from Zoom. This is like, designing. They have failed with this bar. So I'm very happy to have with us the next speaker from St. John's University. She's going to present us the staff engagement policies in this very famous university in the US. She's a Greek, so I'm double happy. She's Associate Professor Zoe Petropoulou. We met in this very nice event in Leon, and the floor is yours, Zoe, for the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Hey, I will try to take the challenge after all these talented speakers ahead of me, passionate about COIL.
I think if you speak after Ethne, it's like to try to sing after Sinatra, something like that.
I think it's after you and her both. It's going to be challenging. I will try to do my best. So thank you very much for this well-organized conference. And I'm really grateful to you, Costa, for sending us emails, reminding us the time, because with the time difference for all of us, it's a great challenge to align schedules. So I will try to share my screen here.
Actually, it's one of the challenges of the virtual exchanges. This is one of my questions to Ethne about the academic calendar, but we can manage it. This with a good collaboration and communication, I think.
Yes, and communicating with all those emails, reminding us is wonderful. So I'm starting with, can you see my screen?
Yes, very well, thank you.
Okay. So I will focus today on the faculty communities, learning communities that we have been creating on our campus. So when you call staff, I guess in Europe, we call more just faculty, and our faculty, that means our professors. I know there are different terminologies in the different parts of the world, but I want to be clear about that. So a few words for me, where are we, who are we? So we are a Catholic private university in New York. We have as part of our mission global education, and we strive to offer students opportunities for global learning. Our students come from different racial or socioeconomic backgrounds, and we believe that it's our responsibility to offer them as many opportunities as possible. Before the pandemic, we had approximately 40% of our students studying abroad, which is a very big number for the United States. But the choices for our students were not to go on their own to programs that we offered and we had collaborations with around the world. They were all going to our 2 campuses or 3 campuses, 2 campuses and 1 site in Europe, Ireland, Paris, and Rome, which shows that our students were not independent to be on their own. So our challenge is how can we reach everyone? And that's everybody's challenge that is in this call, and give opportunities to our students. Who am I also? I'm an associate professor at St. John's University, and I'm a senior director for global engagement. And I am a COIL practitioner, and also I work with faculty and with the administration of my university. And I'm a spokesperson for the faculty because faculty need our support, professors and colleagues need our support as they develop their courses, and also for being recognized for promotion by our university. Universities recognize only research for the faculty, for the professors, and not necessarily engaging their students in global learning or improving teaching methodology. So I'm going to continue with the next slide here. And here you can see the name of the program at our university is not COIL, is GOLE, it's Global Online Exchange. We started in 2018, and our faculty development started from GLE, the DePaul University in Chicago. And in 2019, we developed our own faculty development program. We have been awarded in 2023 by AACNU and the HK Directorate of Norway for a collaboration with a VIT specialized university, and that gave us the opportunity to improve certain things such as faculty development and also assessment and quality learning, but also create a COIL program that is the beginning for further partnerships with universities. So in the past, we had all these MOUs and nothing was happening, while now we start with the COIL collaboration and we develop many other collaborations with universities. And finally, we have been recently acknowledged by the Stevens Initiative for SDG inclusion because on climate change. So these are some of the important steps as we move forward with COIL. So far, we have had approximately 50 COIL courses, 1,000 to 1,100 students included across disciplines, graduate and undergraduate courses. But my next slide is, why do we focus on faculty? Why do I focus on faculty? This information, this slide came in 2021 from a report from the American Council on Education, and it was presented at the AIEA conference in 2023. Faculty are vital catalysts for internationalization. As you can see, they're first and second come the senior officers at every university, which means that we need to focus on our faculty if we want to move forward with internationalized universities. Now, what do we do at St. John's the last few years? We have created a faculty learning community trying to learn from each other. As you can see, GOLE for us is COIL. So through this community, we mentor faculty, we support faculty, and we try to acknowledge faculty's work in the process. How? We have developed the GOLE Fellows, and I'll explain in a minute who they are and what they are. We have the Gole Faculty HIPS Forum. HIPS stands for the American Universities, by the American Association for Colleges and Universities, for high impact priority practices that are best practices to engage and retain students. And we have a forum where faculty present what they do in their COIL courses. I will continue. So what are the activities? So first of all, on the upper left side, we have a Gole asynchronous course that we offer once a year. In that course, we have St. John's University faculty who get this faculty development course. And if they have already identified a partner, we also include their partner in that course. That course is 1 month, and I'll give more information in a minute. Then once a year, the fellows and myself, we work with the Gole faculty, the COIL faculty, on their proposal, and we give them feedback for what originally they present. Then twice a semester, the Gole practitioners meetings are done, and I'll give examples on methodology and research and digital tools. And finally, we have the twice per semester, the Gole HIPS Forum, where faculty present completed courses on different topics. So first of all, what are the Gole Fellows? Every year we have 2 COIL fellows, COIL professors who have done multiple COIL courses, who get a stipend and work with me, and their responsibilities are cross-disciplinary conversations with the faculty that want to embed COIL. They provide support to faculty members. They engage in conversations on how to improve student learning, assessment strategies, etc. And I will give examples. And the activities are, they make faculty presentations, they contribute to the Canvas course, and they participate in all the COIL programs and seminars we have during the academic year. So this is the role of the Gole Fellows. The asynchronous course that we offer, I work with the 2 fellows, and the asynchronous course is about a month, and we have 2 synchronous presentations on different topics. So the main activities that you can see on the right side of my slide are different virtual exchange methods, UN SDGs, because we promote them. We cannot enforce faculty to adopt them, but we highly recommend them to do so. Icebreaker activities, intercultural competencies and objectives, assessment tools, and digital tools. So these are the different topics that are included in the asynchronous course. And for that, I work with the Gole Fellows. During the process of this course, the faculty do develop their proposal. We give feedback to the proposal, then they improve, revise the proposal, and submit their final one. And then once they have the final one with their partner, we have an instructional designer by the university who assists them to implement the digital tools into their course. So this is our process. This is how we work to accompany them in the process to develop a course. On my next slide, you see how with the Gole Fellows, we have the Gole practitioners meetings, And in these meetings, we have different topics. Last spring, the topic was on icebreakers and challenges. So what we do, we have a Padlet and we have slides. We include everything on Padlet. And we include icebreakers, challenges of the icebreakers, the conference that are coming up, different publications, meeting notes, etc., etc. So all of that is on every Padlet. The next slide is another meeting that just happened last week. It was on intercultural learning. We have another one coming up in November on assessment. And next semester, 2 more are going to be on digital tools and on research, how faculty can develop research projects starting from a COIL project. So these are the GOLE practitioners' activities. And here in this slide, I'm providing some information about the high impact practice forum discussions. And these are the different presentations that our faculty give based on their project. So number 1 was about interprofessional competencies and career development skills for students by 2 professors. One collaborated with American University in Lebanon and the other one with Germany. Then another presentation was about virtual museum experiences, and our partner and our faculty presented on intercultural competences. And finally, 3 faculty members presented on their collaboration with a university in Ukraine and all the challenges. So we have different disciplines. The first project was about a language class with Italy as well. I forgot to mention sociology, then library science and museum course, and finally special education from the School of Education in the collaboration with Ukraine. These were just the fall 2024 topics. Okay, so every semester we have different topics. And I just don't want to go too far with my presentations in terms of time. Here, what we have started doing at the end of February, meeting with our faculty, we give them a survey. And here on top, you have in different colors the questions and the colors matching with their answers. So some of the questions were, what would you like to see in the future to assist you further? What stands out to you in this process of learning about virtual exchange? And number 3, name some ways that GOLE Fellows meetings have been helpful to you. So they have been, we haven't received many yet. We started this process last week. Very few, we received only 4 answers, but all our faculty tell us continue with that because this is very helpful to us. Costa, how many minutes do I have left, if any?
Overtime.
Overtime, okay. Thank you very
Penalties.
much. I'll be happy to answer questions and maybe
Thank you.
add things that I have not.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to ask all of you to share your presentation with us in order to upload them to the platform. I have one question for you, Zoe, because I like very much, and this gives me a lot of responses, because a lot of academics, they told me why I should do internationalization. So first of all, I'm going to find, this report that academics are the main catalyst for more internationalization. And here comes my question. If someone will become a COLE fellow, Okay, this is a great idea, and I like also the idea of the faculty. But what are the real benefits for this academic? I mean, regarding professional development, he can use it in order to become a professor. His salary or her salary is getting higher. These are the things that people, they need to respond, or you need to respond to convince them at least at the beginning.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. This is a very important question. And this is the reason why we created this learning community. First of all, we give a very small stipend to our faculty who are Gole Fellows. But what I try to do with them is to promote their work. We write letters. First of all, I'll start from the leadership. I represent them to the leadership of the university. We write letters of support for them when they go up for promotion or for tenure, to explain how important the role is. And I am working with the upper administration to make this type of approach recognized by the university for promotion. What helped us also, the AACNU, American Association for Colleges and Universities, visited us a year ago with the award we received, and they met with presidents and provosts. So this type of, we need to educate the upper administration of this importance. So our role is dual: educate the upper administration, but at the same time, represent our faculty. So stipends is one. Number two, we do publish with the fellows. And we present in different conferences the work they are doing. Next week, we are going to Washington at the AACNU Global Learning Conference, and they are presenting with me. So these are all beneficial things for their promotion. So we really try very hard to support them.
Excellent answers. I will keep this letter of support in order to get promoted and also make them more visible. The people that they offer, to make their offers and their services more visible within the university. You gave me an excellent answer and response in order to pilot. Thank you very much, Zoe. Please stop share the screen. And now I'm moving to a colleague of mine that is going to present another, I will say, another aspect of applications of virtual exchanges. All of us, we are familiar, or we are trying to get familiar with cost actions. So Irini Christoforidou is a teaching staff of our university in the Department of Agriculture. Here is some information about the cost action in the QR, and check, how Irini will present us how she's using virtual exchanges in order to promote the activities of this particular cost action. But I think this is an excellent case study in order to check the impact of the virtual exchange in various activities. The floor is yours, Irini, for 5 minutes, since my time management has destroyed me. No, I'm kidding. For the next 10 minutes, the floor is yours in order to make us the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much for this invitation. I will try to be as short as possible. So I'm going to share my screen, and please let me know if you can see my presentation full screen. No?
It's not full screen. Try to press the full screen in order to be able to check it as a full screen.
Now? Is it better?
It tries, I think. Not yet.
Oh, I can see full screen.
If you, or you can, if you, are you sharing a lot of screens? So try to share the window.
Yes, I'm sharing the window. Oh, I'm sharing, yes, only the window, and it is full screen in my
Not in
screen.
ours. So you need to scroll down.
I will do it again. Now, is it better?
No, nothing has changed.
Okay,
Stop sharing and share.
sharing,
Stop
yes,
sharing and share again.
Yeah, I'll try it all over again. What's now? Better?
Yes, now it's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
8 minutes now. I'm sorry.
Oh my. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Irene Cristoforidi. I have a PhD in agricultural sciences and I work as head of plant production department in experimental farm of Hellenic Mediterranean University. Oh, it's not changing. No, I have a problem by changing the. Oh my, I have to stop sharing again. Sorry about this.
Don't worry, the time is the same. So
Yes, but I cannot change. It's blocked now. I don't know why. Oh my.
this happens. You know, these things happen. Always
This
you wish
one.
the technology to support you. I don't know,
Yeah.
Ethne, what are you doing with this?
Well, it's just stop and start, right? That's what-
Exactly.
Now, can you see my full screen or
No,
not?
but you know, never mind. Scroll down, scroll down.
Oh, I'm sorry about this, but in my computer it's a full screen and I don't know how to do it
Cannot
better.
help you.
So sorry about this. Well, okay. Anyway, also, in addition, I work in design and implementation of several workshops and living labs with decision makers, researchers, policymakers, and local stakeholders implemented in urban or rural areas all over Europe. Many of these workshops are within COST actions. COST is a European cooperation in science and technology. It is founding organization for research and innovation networks. COST action help connect research initiatives across Europe and beyond and enable researchers and innovators to grow their ideas in any science and technology field. In addition, Cost Action is a bottom-up network that boosts research, innovation, and careers. One of the virtual networking tools of Cost Actions is virtual mobility. Virtual mobility grants aim at strengthening the existing networks by allowing scientists to foster collaboration in a virtual setting. Cost Actions uses a flexible tool to implement virtual activities inside the network, achieve the memorandum of understanding, and contributes to European leadership in knowledge creation and increasing its innovation potential. Virtual Mobility Grantee develop capacity in virtual collaboration and networking in a pan-European framework. Last year I had the chance, this year, sorry, I had the chance to go to participate in two different virtual mobilities from two different cost actions, Margistar and Smiles also. And I'm going to present you one of these. Margistar is an European funded cost action that brings together more than 100 scientists, policymakers, and local stakeholders from 30 plus countries to address sustainability and connectivity challenges faced by marginalized mountainous regions. You can see here our Margistar platform. You can register if you want to have more information. During the Magister Virtual Mobility, I was very lucky because I had the opportunity to collaborate with Professor Theolin, Professor Colm, Dr. Michelle Coley, and some from Dublin City University from Ireland. And during this virtual mobility, we designed the Magister Vision Workshop as a tool to approach and collect meaningful data from local stakeholders. Specifically, this Magister Vision Workshop is a tool to assist citizens who live and work in marginalized mountainous areas to articulate a vision and design actionable pathways for sustaining and developing their community or area. This workshop was designed to trigger sustainability transitions in marginalized mountains communities with participatory activities which were designed to foster ownership over workshop results, ultimately creating stakeholders who champion these evidence-based insights with key decision makers and thought leaders. So far, this Magister Vision workshop has been validated in Croatia and is being rolled out in Finland, Norway, and Spain this year, 2024, and it's going to be implemented in 4 more European countries in 2025. Additional vision-specific follow-on workshops are being developed on topics such as tourism, new enterprise development, and digitalization, amongst others. So, opportunities. There are plenty of them with big virtual exchange programs like interactive webinars, virtual exchange training or training schools, online monthly meetings, which are plenty of them within the cost actions. Common online work environments where you can share your work online and access your document from anywhere, and many other opportunities to collaborate and keep in touch. In addition, I'm very happy with the virtual mobility that I had with DCU, Dublin Dublin City University from Ireland, where I met Michelle Coley. We are working now together in a common paper, which will be submitted at the end of November. We are working as co-authors. I haven't met Michelle in person yet, but we're working virtually and we have a very interesting and fruitful collaboration. I was trying to think some barriers or difficulties, but I'm sorry, Mr. Petridis, I couldn't think of anyone. Maybe the only one might be the different time zone that causes sometimes several problems. So virtual collaboration is mostly used to facilitate engagement in remote and hybrid workplaces. Incorporating digital tools allows your team to stay in sync, as well as gives them autonomy and flexible working hours and location. It is a new age of collaboration, yes, but let me add also, it is an eco-friendly new age of collaboration. And by ending my presentation as soon as possible, that I was trying to be short, ευχαριστώ in Greek, thank you then. And I will ending with this image from our experimental farm, especially this one is from the Educational Botanical Garden, where we are expecting all of you to visit us in person or virtually. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Irini, for keeping also the time. We have listened you. We were listening you. We could not see the transparencies to scroll down, but you pass your message. You know, these things are happening. I would like to ask you something. How do you motivate or disseminate your virtual exchanges through cost? What is the participation and how do you motivate them to participate? Any tips?
Don't think twice. Maybe the only tip is that you should go for it. It's really interesting. You could join a cost action and you could be in touch with some working groups and working group leaders.
Irini, I'm talking about the virtual exchanges, not how to join cost, but within the cost, the virtual exchange participation.
The virtual exchange. The virtual exchange sometimes happens when you are going to suggest a virtual exchange, or if the cost action and the cost action leaders will inform all the members that they're going to be a virtual exchange about the subject or to extend a work need or something.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Irini, for your contribution.
I'm sorry about the
no worries. You know, these things happen. And now I'm moving to the next speaker. I'm going to share a little bit my screen for a short presentation of her. I mean, it's very interesting because I think that, you know, I have found the correct picture of Raquel. She's going to present us how the Castilla-La Mancha, University of Castilla-La Mancha is using virtual internationalization. It's something very related to us. you can see, you know, a QR code to their international office where they present all their activities. And I'm looking forward to listen for the next 10 minutes, Raquel, about your techniques, your strategies about virtual internationalization. We are diving on this right now, so your presentation is very important for us. Please make it full screen. Yes, press this, yes.
Can you see it?
We cannot see it full screen.
What about now?
Yes, now it's fine. Thank you. Thank you. Muchas gracias, Raquel. The floor is yours.
De nada. So first of all, I want to say thank you, Konstantinos, for having us in account for this invitation. And well, I would like to say congratulations to all of you because of all the fantastic things that you are doing. I'm just going to talk about a very small thing, comparing all the gorgeous things that you are explaining. Because well, I'm a music teacher. I'm just a normal music teacher. But from last year, from last September, I'm the international coordinator of the Faculty of Education. So my experience is not very big, but well, I'm growing up and I would really love to improve and to learn a lot of things about you. Well, when we talk about the University of Castilla-La Mancha, it is in the red area. I think you are looking my screens that I'm passing it. We have around 30,000 students. And when we talk about University of Castilla-La Mancha, it is divided in 5-6 different campuses, Albacete, Ciudad Real, Toledo, Cuenca, and we have like 2 different cities in Almadena and Talavera de la Reina. Well, here we have like the mobilities that we have and the collaboration that we have all around the world. It is about 200 outgoing students and 200 incoming students per year. So, well, we are not very, very big university, but we have, I think, a great number of mobilities. What we are going to talk about is the Faculty of Education in Albacete. It's the faculty where I work. And well, I think one of the best things that we have is from last September, so just 1 month ago, we received this certificate, this recognition, because of the e-twinning programs. Okay, we have a very good group of teachers in the bilingual department, in English department, and they are promoting e-twinning and doing a lot of things. That's why we have a lot of virtual activities related with these e-twinning programs. Foreseeing what about the movement of our faculty, we have around 84 mobilities outgoing students and staff, and we have also about 16 mobilities here in Spain that we call CQE. Well, talking about big programs, all of you know what is it about. We have like a part of short terms and a physical mobility and a virtual component. So I'm going to tell you about the last 2 that we have had. One of them was the competence development of future teachers focused in sustainability and cultural literacy, that it was made in Daugavpils University in Latvia, and the countries that work on it was Vilnius in Lithuania, Poland, Latvia, and our university. It was in the last September, the virtual component, and the mobility was in October, well, 1 year ago, more or less. And well, I have to say that it was the first time that we had one of these experiences, a VIP experience. And when we came back from here, all the students told me, we want to go to Erasmus Mobilities. So I think this is one of the stronger things of big programs, because there are a lot of students that are not very sure if they like this experience abroad. And with these short terms and this virtual component, it's perfect to interact with other students, with other teachers, and in other different contexts. The second one, the second BIP that we took part on it was Water Flows and Always Find Its Way. It was in France, in the city of Amiens, and these are the countries, the university that work on it. It was the University of Picardie Jules Verne from Amiens, Mersin University, the Institut National Superior du Professorat d'Education, also in Amiens, new Faculty of Humanities of CEU, San Pablo, our university, Castilla-La Mancha, and another one from Turkey, from Balıkesir. It was the virtual component between the 6th and the 10th of May of this year, and the mobility between the 13th and 17th. In this BIP program, they talk about sustainable, about the water and all the benefits for our community, globalization, and being responsible about our world and all these global things. We also program one of the big programs, but it couldn't be carried out. The title was, Are You Ready for the Future? Educational Technology and E-Twinning Success. But the problems that we had was that the students were taking exams. It was programmed for the last July. Some members were in holiday period, and some partners had not taken these financial items into account, so they didn't have this grant for sending students. So, well, this is our project, and we would really love to plan again for next March or maybe April. If any of you want to join to this opportunity, you are more than invited. And we have also COIL programs. We have a lot of colleagues that talk about these programs. And well, we have some members, some teachers that they are connecting with other different universities in different parts of the world to connect at the same time and make workshops, and make different projects with the students and with the teacher in diverse cultural contexts. Well, I don't have a lot of many things more to say, just that our faculty is willing to receive students and teacher staff, to sign new agreements and to establish new projects. So all of you are more than welcome to our university. And well, we are expecting to learn a lot of things about you. Here is my contact, just in case you need anything or you want to visit us. Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you very much, Raquel, for keeping the time and for the very informative presentation. I will say to our colleagues that blended intensive programs is something that we are going to deal in very details tomorrow. I think it's like an excellent tool for internationalization because combines the online and the short mobilities. So the students that they hesitate to go outside of their comfort zone, they have this opportunity to do it. Excellent tool with challenges that we are going to present tomorrow. And I have a question to you, Raquel. What kind of activities do you engage during the online sessions of your BIP?
We have like different conferences depending on the topic of experts, of teachers, and we have different presentation about the students. And also we try to make interactive activities with interesting programs. We try to make groups with members of all the different countries, and then it's a way that they have to contact and to meet them and to discuss the topics that we said.
Excellent, excellent. And we would like as a university to participate in your e-twinning activity. So send me an email. You know, it's an opportunity for us to grab it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So now I'm going to move to our next speaker that comes, you know, from Greece. It is another, I will say, another virtual exchange program. Our next speaker is Mr. Vlasis Manolias. He's a project manager of the project DG App Virtual Exchange Project. So the floor is yours, Vlasis, for the next 10 minutes. Thank you. If Vlasis is here, excellent. I can see. This is the stress that as a moderator, the speakers to be on place. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Vlasis. I'm project manager of Metropolitan College and the project coordinator of DGA project. I'm very happy for being here today with all these interesting presentations. Let me share my screen.
And I can see also Hubertus is with us. And I welcome Hubertus. Hubertus is going to speak on Wednesday, if I remember well.
Can you
Excellent,
see my screen?
excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, Vlasis.
Perfect. So, regarding DGA project, it is a virtual exchange project of Metropolitan College, which leads the project. The project consortium comes from countries like Belgium, Kenya, South Africa, and Tanzania. The aim of our project is to connect higher education students and staff and young people from Europe and Sub-Saharan Africa. We also try to promote the development, acquisition, and application of both digital and soft skills through the European frameworks like DIGCOMP Edu and DIGCOMP 2.2. And of course, as all the virtual exchange, to enhance the employability of the participants. So, our needs analysis showed that there is lack of digital skills in students and staff, especially in Sub-Saharan Africa. There is also lack of digital and soft skills development in general, which are essential for our current era. And we also checked that there is a gap in the cultural education and interaction between the two continents. Regarding the observations that we had through the implementation of virtual exchanges until now, it is that there is great variety in digital literacy levels of the participants, and of course different perspectives on digital teaching and learning practices of the participants, even among Europe and of course between South African countries. So, our project goal is to empower educators. So DGA provides professional development opportunities, helping educators to integrate digital tools in their teaching practices through collaboration in these virtual exchange activities that we implement. It's also to enhance student engagement by offering interactive and innovative learning resources. We also try to promote digital literacy of the participants. During our activities, we don't only share digital tools, but we try to present them. We engage students to collaborate with each other in order to provide material to build on these tools. And through this collaboration, we try to facilitate and to establish the idea of collaborative learning. The impact through the internationalization process that we established through the virtual exchange project is the inclusion and diversity, the promotion of cultural competence and global awareness, the interaction and the cultural interaction of these virtual exchanges, to build strategic partnerships and international collaborations among the partners and, of course, among the participants who are not in the partnership, but they like these projects and they join us. Of course, the innovation in research, the development of our skills, and the promotion, the development of employability and soft skills. Here, you can see some activities that we implement. We use different tools like Slido, Padlet, FigJam. We engage students to activities, to collaborative activities where they share their ideas with each other. They collaborate, they create groups of communities of practice, which are very important in order to uh, serve as a sustainable project, which not only implement some activities, but we try to build a community for the future. As you can see in the fourth picture, a YouTube video. It is from a Tanzanian organization, which, to be honest, even if I'm uh, as a PhD candidate in intercultural communication and as a former uh, employee in NGOs, I wasn't aware of these initiatives in Africa, but there are organizations like this which build and try to engage schools in Africa with educational videos. So it is very important that through um, through projects like this, we contact these people, we exchange ideas, and we uh, collaborate for a better future for all the students, both in Europe and in Africa. So that's all for me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. And of course, I'm here for any question you may have.
Thank you, Vlasis, very much for your presentation and for keeping the time. I have a question for you. I mean, in general, I have this question, and I would like to share, your opinion how to do this. It's like, how do you evaluate the soft skills development or the digital skills development? That is the aim of your project. Are you doing some assessment, or you just provide information to them and you provide a lot of triggering events for them in order to develop?
Yeah. Thanks for the question. There is not a, let's say, an official evaluation tool that we use. We use evaluation tools for the virtual exchange activities that we implement. So every each activity, uh, we ask for the feedback of the participants. These virtual exchange activities are like activities which are related to the digital competence framework and for the educators and for the citizens. So our aim is to give the tools to the participants to create these communities, to engage students and teachers with their classes to join these activities. And we keep it, let's say, open to them to build on these skills that they obtain during the activities and to implement them in their classes.
Thank you, Vlasi.
Okay.
There is one more question from our colleague from Zoe Petropoulou, Professor Zoe Petropoulou from St. John's. Are any strategies for preparing students coming from different levels?
Yeah, we try to, as the project management team, we try to check with each other the material that we are going to present, the tools that we are going to provide, in order to keep, let's say, an equality in terms of the presented tools. For example, we had some some questions, some requests from people from Europe that they joined the initial activities that we had in order to engage, in order to present more AI tools to during the activities. And on the other hand, we had people from Sub-Saharan Africa that they wanted just simple tools to make to digitalize their lessons. So we try to present as many tools as possible. Of course, we try to keep an equality in this because okay, it's impossible to fill all the gaps needed it's impossible to address all the requests of the participants. So we do it like this. We try to implement more advanced tools and simpler tools at the same time, and hopefully it will work.
Thank you, Vlasis. Thank you for your response, and Zoe for the question. So you are
pleasure. Thank you.
providing the triggering events, and the people they respond according to their needs, and they adapt. Thank you. Vlasis, please stop sharing your screen in order to move to the next speaker. The next speaker comes also from the United States, from Florida. I don't know if she is with us. I cannot see. I haven't seen her to join. You know, from the very beginning, is Professor Matien. I don't know if she is with us. Matien, you're here. Ooh,
I'm here.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
So let me also make this short, let's say, presentation. So it's like an assistant professor in the University of Florida in USA. She's going to present us leveraging engagement to gather participant feedback in a virtual exchange. Here is a QR about Professor Matien, and the floor is yours for the next 10 minutes. Thank you very much, Tara, for your time and your contribution. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I have really enjoyed listening to everybody else's presentations, and I'm hoping that mine can kind of give us a little bit of a different perspective, maybe, and a different way to kind of look at the pieces of our virtual exchanges that we might do, and kind of leverage resources and digital tools to get feedback and to really engage with our participants as we prepare and plan these things. So I will be talking about leveraging engagement to solicit participant feedback. So I'm going to share some examples of some of the work that we have done and some of the projects I've been designing, and then share some of the results from those and how we use those to really kind of formulate what we're planning to do. So as Katja said, I am Dr. Tara Mathian, and I am a faculty member at the University of Florida in the United States. I am in my role as faculty. I'm in early childhood studies. So a lot of the work that I do is related to early childhood development, growth, and learning from birth to age 8. But I'm also in teacher preparation. And so many of the virtual exchanges that I have done relate to teacher education, but we also have done a lot of work with the SDGs and looking at mental health and different things. So there's a lot of different cross sections in my work and how we can kind of go kind of across contexts and collaborate with lots of different folks that are not just early childhood. So I'm always open to collaborate that way. So I'll go over an overview of the projects that we've done, and then we'll kind of go through some of the engagement strategies that we've used, how we've collected data from those engagement strategies, the feedback that we've received from that, the analysis that we've done, and then the feedback from the participants, and then the enhancements that we have made as a result of that entire process. So in particular, this exact example that I'm going to share is over a 1-year period of virtual exchange project that I did with a partner institution in Ecuador. So it was students from the University of Florida, and we partnered with students that were in and around. They were really kind of all over the entire country of Ecuador that were participating with our students. So it was over the spring of 22. We did our first project, in which we gathered data on our participants through the use of these engagement strategies, and then the results to kind of help form the changes and the enhancements that we made in the following spring of 2023 in our next virtual exchange project. So we were definitely guided, as you can see here, by the design process, the design thinking model. So that 5-stage process really kind of helped us create different steps throughout our entire virtual exchange, in which we were going through that reflective process. So not just what did the students learn from our actual virtual exchange, which was, about family engagement strategies and literacy, but really just the exchange itself, and how did our students participate? How did they respond to it? How were they engaged? So we were really kind of looking at the design of the actual project, while also looking at the content and what the students were learning. So some of the engagement strategies, the goals for the tools that we used and the processes that we used really had to do with collaboration, right? The whole point of virtual exchange is having students connect and collaborate. We really wanted it to be an active participation environment. So not one in which students were passively getting information from one another, but we really truly wanted all of the participants to be active in this entire process. Communication, always is a really big one. So how could we garner even more communication than perhaps the students would offer up themselves, just kind of on their own? And then different ways in which students could share their perspectives and their experiences without maybe just dialoguing, but what were kind of some other ways that we could kind of meet students where they were and have it be really kind of inclusive of their comfort level in this environment. So the tools that we used, and I will show some examples and, some screenshots of some of these, but I'm happy to share any links if anybody is interested, and you can kind of look on your own too after this. I'd be happy to share any of it. But we used Google Sites, which I've heard many of you talk about, and so I think some of these are very common and to you. So maybe just kind of thinking about how we used them to get information from our participants. We used Padlet, we used exit tickets, we utilized breakout rooms in the Zoom feature, and then we had our end of project that was definitely an active end of project experience for our students, and then the project rubric. And so all of those pieces we utilized in order to get feedback for ourselves about how our students were being engaged in this process. So this is just a few screenshots of a couple of those strategies that I talked about. So over here in the top left corner, we used Google Sites, where we just housed the entire project for the student participants. So they had access to this from day one throughout the whole entire duration. So each of these projects themselves were over the course of about 6 to 8 weeks. So the sessions were kind of on about every 3 weeks or so, we would have live sessions, but the rest we had asynchronous components that the students would have to access and kind of be engaged in. So everything that was accessible to them was on this Google site. This is one of our first, on the right-hand side, this screenshot of this Padlet was one of the first kind of, icebreakers that we did for students to, place some information about themselves, where they were located. We also had them put something about where their favorite food is geographically located. So, while nothing had to do with food with our projects, we really tried to do different elements that the students could connect to, something that felt very neutral for them. We used exit tickets after every single session to gather feedback from our students. So the bottom left example there is just a screenshot of one of the Google Forms that we put together, and questions that we kind of posed to the participants to gather their feedback. The bottom right, we also used Spotify as another connector and a way to engage the students in ways that they wouldn't have otherwise engaged. So we put together a playlist link, and so you don't have to be a subscriber to access someone's link. You can add to it. So we had students all contribute their favorite songs to a global playlist, and it was just another way for them to be able to make connections with one another in a way that was accessible, and it felt a little bit more informal than our, content that we were really kind of talking about. So we used all of those sources. We used the exit tickets, we used their reflections that they contributed, and we used their engagement with those different tools, with the Padlet, with the Spotify, with the icebreakers. And we gathered all of their feedback to really inform us about where were they really engaging, where were they spending time, what were they excited about, and what were they sort of, maybe just kind of hesitating or not spending so much time on, and how could that help us understand what they were really responding to and connecting with. So we got a lot of feedback through, some of these different pieces. So I just kind of did a screenshot of asking them, what impacted your learning? And we specifically wanted to know, like, what tools did you really like? Why did you like them? What did it make you feel connected about? And so just some of their responses here really kind of were a really nice way of kind of informally gathering feedback and then analyzing our practices for our next virtual exchange, and those that we've had since then as well in the future. So just some pieces here, some of the students, and we know that participants sometimes, we do know that virtual exchange is very powerful for students, but it can also be quite intimidating, based on comfort with a language. So these were delivered in English, and so the different proficiencies, comfort, right, in their own use of language is sometimes a barrier to students. And then even writing, right? A lot of the times it's writing something in a chat or being in a Zoom breakout room, and if they don't feel proficient or comfortable, that's not always the best way either for them to engage. So having these different opportunities for them to engage in ways that weren't just, typing something out that they might not have felt proficient with, or just having to respond in text or verbally, really, as you can see here, offered them an opportunity to grow as a person, to really feel like they could connect with other people that they, might not have otherwise if it was just strictly, kind of an academic content piece, and we didn't have those extra ways. So the feedback that we got from our first session, I have there in that first column. So, some of them said that they had difficulty accessing materials, or they were kind of unclear about sessions. And so that's where, we came in with that Google site. And so then as a result of that feedback with that engagement, they reported accessibility was much easier. It increased their preparedness in sessions because they really felt confident about what, was being expected and what they would prepare for. Another piece was increasing communication and connecting opportunities. So that was coming from our participants saying, we want more opportunities to communicate in ways that feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel open enough or confident enough. So that's where we came in with, for example, the Spotify playlist, the Padlet, where they could just put photos if they wanted. They didn't even have to type anything if they didn't feel confident with that. The different icebreakers, where they could share text, they could share images. We even had ways that they could share, a recording. Sometimes the students wanted to record themselves first before they actually would have to say something on the spot. So they reported expanding focus to, personal connections that they actually made outside of the virtual exchange. So many of them actually went on to connect via WhatsApp on their own and decided to share their own contact information. And so that, this really wonderful extended connection of students that was just, not one of our goals, and just what a wonderful result. And then their language proficiency, right? The variability in language proficiency and their confidence in sharing. So we did increase the synchronous time and icebreakers to give them more chances. Like I said, I mentioned the WhatsApp group that they kind of designed on their own. These students kind of decided to do that. And it really diversified ways that they could share their perspectives. And they felt more in a neutral space that way, that was sort of designed and initiated by them. We did formally survey them as well, and I can talk more about that. If you wanted to contact me after this, we used some formal kind of data collections with the INT CRIT and the INT COM surveys. So we just sort of triangulated that, these sort of informal ways that we were collecting data really did sort of verify that what we were doing really did kind of make improvements with some of their intercultural competencies. So that was really quick overview of how we kind of utilized resources and tools to give us powerful information about what students really wanted to see out of these experiences. And we've kind of grown in every cycle since then. So thank you so much. I know it was quick and I was showing you a lot, but I appreciate the time.
Thank you very much, Tara, for the presentation and for keeping the time as well. There is a question. The first question comes from Anissa Vahend and says, Anissa mentioned ethics can present an issue in collective feedback. What advice do you have for early COILers with regards to conforming ethical practices of their universities?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a really tough thing. In every university, it's different as far as ethics boards or IRB. So we did have to be very careful about any anonymous information. So anything that we collected was anonymous. Whatever we would collect would be, like I said, most of it was informal. The two that I showed here, this is data from only University of Florida students, because I was able to get IRB from my students, but my partner institution was not able to get ethics board clearance. So it was helpful for one population of this project, but we really couldn't get it for the other. So the other population was really just kind of those informal bits of feedback. So, the students would share their perspective in our sessions, and we would kind of take those pieces and some of those experiences and what we saw. So we used a lot of our, faculty perspectives and the engagement that we kind of observed and how we were seeing the students engage, participate, contribute, to kind of put all of that together to kind of tell the story of what was working and maybe what wasn't so much. But yeah, that unfortunately, I think there's sometimes no way around it if you can't get clearance. But doing what you can, at least maybe from faculty perspective, if you can't get, student perspective, then there are ways at least you can still kind of glean, I think, important data still to inform our practice.
Thank you very much, Tara, for the response. I have one question, Tara. Do you accredit your activities? I mean, do you involve university students? And this is within the framework of existing courses. How do you accredit otherwise?
So I've done it both ways. This particular project, it was through courses. So it was a course project that my students did, as well as my partner institution. But I've also I actually just finished one this spring that was not connected to any courses. So it was strictly voluntary participation. And it was across other institutions, not just two. There were 5 institutions, and we had over 100 participants that just voluntarily that did this. They were all university students, but it wasn't connected to anything. So there's that also tells us important information. There's a real interest, even if it isn't connected to a grade or credit, that students want to connect. They want to connect with people on a global scale and hear perspectives and learn from one another.
Thank you very much, Tara, for the presentation. I can see within the chat that you have started to communicate between you. We have Another question from Anisha, I think that this will be the last one that I will comment. Do you collect feedback from teachers involved in COIL on their experiences? And if so, what are you using?
So far the faculty have just it's myself and one other for this project that kind of worked and collaborated together. And we were using the same tools, except for, like I said, that formal survey we weren't using together, but everything else we were using the same. And we would meet nearly every single week and talk about what was happening, debrief, follow up on, anything that we needed to make changes to. So very close, constant communication and kind of feedback process for ourselves as well.
Thank you. Thank you from
Thank
myself
you.
and from Tara and for your presentation. Let's stop sharing the screen. I will share mine for the last, but as they say, not least, presenters, a colleague from Cyprus, from Cyprus University of Technology. This is Dr. Anna Nicolaou. Actually, she's an expert in virtual exchanges because from her CV that you can scan, her CV, through the QR, you can see that she has a PhD in virtual exchanges from the well-reputed University of Trinity in Dublin, in Ireland. So, Anna, thank you for waiting for us. And the floor is yours for the next 10 minutes. Thank you very much, Anna. Ευχαριστώ.
Thank you very much, Costa, for the invitation, and to everybody who has stayed until now. I will try to be brief, I don't know if people are tired already. So I will be presenting to you the Digi3 Virtual Exchange project, enhancing, enriching youth digital media and soft skills using virtual mobility experiences in Sub-Saharan Africa and the EU. This is an Erasmus project under the call Erasmus Edu 2023 Virtual Exchange, and it's the type of action that receives Erasmus lump sums. So we are a relatively small consortium comprising six countries, Latvia, Cyprus, Lithuania, Kenya, and Zambia and Botswana. Our partners from Latvia are coordinating this project, Riga Technical University. Actually, this collaboration resulted from our cooperation within the EUT Plus University Alliance project that we are running at the Cyprus University of Technology, through which we are trying to promote the implementation of virtual exchange projects, blended mobility projects, and blended intensive programs. So the main objective of the Digi3 project is to create cross-cultural pathways for young people within European Union and Sub-Saharan African countries through the very well-known practice of virtual exchange that is geared towards media literacy, critical thinking skill, and soft skill development. So our participating students from the 6 countries that we saw on the previous slide will learn how to recognize rhetorical strategies used in online communication to persuade audiences. And the young people participating will analyze their own everyday social and digital media use through collaborative group activities that are led by expert facilitators. The students will learn to recognize and to resist misleading or inaccurate information while practicing their different communication strategies to work together in their multinational teams. So in this project, we are targeting upper high school aged students and first or second year bachelor's degree students. So we have universities involved and also one high school in Lithuania. We chose these specific target groups because of their extensive use of social media. We know that young people at high school or university use social media heavily in their daily lives. And many times they have not been trained to practice their critical thinking in order to evaluate the information they encounter online. In addition, high school students have the least access to international mobility, which hinders their ability to develop intercultural competency. So why was this project initiated in the first place? So this particular project addresses various significant areas in education in many ways, and especially youth education. It encourages intercultural dialogue between areas, geographical areas that have not been in much in collaboration in terms of project work or educational cooperations. So in this project, we are connecting Sub-Saharan Africa, Baltic countries, and one Eastern Mediterranean country, that is Cyprus. The DigiD project aims at fostering and widening participation in virtual exchange through connecting the North with the South. It promotes virtual exchanges as a complement to the typical Erasmus Plus physical mobility. Some students do not have the opportunity to participate in a physical mobility for various reasons. It could be financial reasons or family obligations or language barriers. So this initiative provides an opportunity for the students involved to benefit from intercultural and international experiences through virtual exchange. The project also addresses the lack of opportunities for critical thinking and media literacy development, particularly in the use of the internet and social media, such as to counter discrimination, indoctrination, polarization, and violent radicalization. These are critical areas in our times. And we know that the young people are exposed to a lot of content online that might promote these situations. The project also fosters the digital and soft skill development of the students, of the young people involved in the project, including the practice of using foreign languages, in specific English as a lingua franca, and teamwork, which can promote their opportunities for employability. So in terms of our approach and strategy, in the DigiD3 project, we designed our own course curriculum, adopting a modular approach and addressing the main areas, the main focal points, which are media literacy, critical thinking, soft skill development, in 6-week virtual exchanges. Our curriculum comprises 6 modules, which focus on topics such as the critical consumption of media content, the identification of fake news, misinformation, disinformation, fact-checking, and other related topics. The task sequence follows a 3-phase approach. So we begin with the introductory phase with ice-breaking tasks and the formation of international groups, and explaining to the participants the aims and objectives of the project. And then we move on to the dialogic phase, where the participants exchange ideas and perspectives in the aforementioned areas. And then towards the end of the project, the students are involved in the creative production phase, which involves the joint creation of digital artifacts that will illustrate a media literacy awareness campaign focusing on a social issue, so as to help to raise awareness to their peers through their campaigns. These digital artifacts could be developed through social media. So they could be, for example, a reel or an Instagram story or a podcast, or similar digital artifacts that the students will select to portray their meaningful media literacy awareness campaigns. In terms of evaluation and dissemination, the project will involve 5 implementation cycles with expert trainers involved, as well as facilitators to assist students towards completing the tasks. We hope to involve more than 1,000 students during the life cycle of the project, which is 36 months. And we aim to assess the learning outcomes through an experimental design approach through administering pre and post activity cycle self-assessment surveys, and we hope to be able to soon disseminate the preliminary results. So far, we have achieved some of our milestones. The project started in February 2024, and we have established project management procedures, and we have carried out a social media use survey, which helped us design our curriculum. We also did an extensive literature review and provided recommendations for the curriculum development. We built the curriculum and the course outline for the 6-week virtual exchanges. We designed our assessment tools, the pre and post surveys. We have transferred our course outline, the curriculum online using Google Classroom. And we have established various dissemination channels so as to let people know about our work. Currently, this semester, we are implementing the first cycle of virtual exchange with 260 student participants from the 6 countries we saw in the previous slide. The students are currently going through the 2nd week of the virtual exchange, and this cycle will end in 4 weeks. When the first cycle reaches an end, we will try to assess the outcomes through the analysis of the students' responses to the pre and post self-assessment surveys, and if necessary, we will make modifications to the curriculum. So this was a brief overview of the DigiD3 project. You see that we are still at the beginning of this project. We do not have any results of our virtual exchanges yet, because the first cycle is currently being implemented, and we hope to have some results when this cycle ends in approximately 4 weeks. So if you want to contact the project coordinators, I give you here their names and emails. These are our colleagues from Latvia, and I also give you my email in case you want to get in touch.
Thank you very much, Anna, for the presentation and for keeping the time. Now it's a time for questions. I have one question, Anna. I mean, how do you register the participation of the students? I mean, it's just a registration form. How do you track their participation? What kind of policies are you following?
Well, thank you for the question, Costa. The virtual exchange is embedded in the students' courses, both at the university and at the secondary school. So the teachers who teach those courses monitor the students entering the virtual exchange, and also keep track of their progress, and also grade their work, because there is also credit given to their participation and completion of tasks.
So through the participation of LMS, where you can follow their digital learning analytics.
Yes, all the tasks have been entered in our Google Classroom grade section. So the students mark all the assignments as grade as submitted, and then they receive feedback on their work. Because we are involving a big number of students, it's 260 students only for the first cycle. We have created smaller groups, which are managed by our facilitators, who have smaller meetings with each group to help them carry out their tasks and also monitor their progress.
Thank you. There is a question from Anissa. Any challenges related to environmental energy constraints in Africa continent, and how are you managing this?
Yes, thank you very much for the question. We anticipated some of those challenges. Before initiating the virtual exchanges, we carried out a survey a social media survey, and we discovered some of those challenges early on, as in our partners countries in Africa. Unfortunately, they do not have the infrastructure that we have. So we planned mostly for asynchronous activities rather than synchronous ones, so as to provide an environment that is equitable and accessible to all students. So the synchronous activities have been minimized, and we included mostly asynchronous work that can be completed during class time or out of class time, when students have the opportunity to utilize the internet and when they have access to their devices.
Thank you very much, Anna, for the clear responses. And the last question that I have, like, how do you recognize virtual mobilities within the University Alliance? Do you have any policy that virtual exchanges count for this 50% target of students' mobility within the alliances in Europe?
Yes, at the second phase of the EUT Plus project, we are actually working on that. There is a work package working on the micro-credentials, a specific task working on that. And currently we're working on developing a framework for recognition of the students' participation in virtual mobility. For the time being, from what I know is that the students who take part in virtual mobilities get some credit that is deducted from the overall course load, the total grade that they get in the course. But within the EUT Plus, we value virtual mobility a lot. So there is an effort now to come up with micro-credentials approach that is part of a broader pedagogical curriculum for joint degrees and university alliances projects.
Excellent approach. This is what we are trying to do as well. Thank you. Thank you very much for this. And also, regarding the social media survey, probably Zoe responds this to your previous question, how to identify the level of the participants. Probably this can, a similar survey can happen among the audience. So I would like to thank all of you for your time, for your contribution. I will make a summary of the conclusions and tools and good policies for the first day. I will share it with you by email. And if you would like to learn more about blended intensive programs by coordinators, by the students that they have participated, join us on the tomorrow session. So I would like to thank you. Good night to everyone. Kalinikta in Greek, because we would like to promote also our culture, through this event. Ευχαριστώ πολύ. Bye. Thank you.
Ευχαριστούμε, Κώστα.
I will share, please share with me your presentation. I will share the video, the link in the YouTube through the website. Thank you. Bye.
Good night.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.